Hey snackers, it's Lace with Snack It or Leave It, and we are back from vacation. Of course, we went to Disney World Resort in Orlando, Florida, and our main draw there was a food festival, a festival with food, not a food festival, but close. So the last time we went, I actually did a couple of videos on things that we ate there, and we had gone to the Epcot International Food and Wine Festival last fall. And this time we decided to try something new for us. And we went to the Epcot International Flower and Garden Festival, which takes place in the spring. So I'm going to talk about the things that we ate there and how we liked it and all that. So this is going to be for me, an editing nightmare. I'm not super great at the editing technological stuff, but I'm going to try something new as far as editing goes. So bear with me. I hope this turns out. But so the festival runs from February 28th through May 27th of this year, 2024. The dates usually vary, but it's about the same length as it usually is, and that is where Epcot is transformed into the most beautiful version of itself, in my opinion. The horticulture team at Epcot really outdoes themselves for this festival. There are giant topiaries. Some of them are completely made up of succulents, which is fun for me. I love succulents. I actually have a little collection of my own that I grow. So I loved seeing that. They have a butterfly garden exhibit. There's all sorts of cool things to learn and see and smell. The flowers are beautiful. But more along my line, there are lots of things to eat at this festival. In my opinion, it is like a mini food and wine festival. There are a few less booths than the food and wine festival, but still plenty of great options. And a lot of those are meant to be like fresh and spring like and plant based in a lot of situations because it's reflecting, a garden, flower and garden, springtime, freshness. It all makes sense, right? So I'm going to talk about some of the things that we ate. I'm going to insert some clips here and there. Bear with me. I have never done editing like this before, but let's get into it. So the first thing you do when you go to an Epcot festival is to pick up one of these little passports. They have them for all four of the festivals that they have. And there are four festivals that Epcot typically holds in a year. The first one being the Epcot International Festival of the Arts. And I have not been to that one. That is on my to-do list at some point. It's a very short festival. It usually runs January through end of February, mid-February. And then comes the Flower and Garden Festival, which is a nice long one. Of course, this one's going till the end of May. And then the Food and Wine Festival starts in the middle of summer and goes through the end of fall. It's the largest festival and by far our favorite. That's not saying that this was not worth going to. This was amazing. We just really love all of the added food booths with the food and wine festival. And there's a couple other reasons that we like going in the fall, but it was wonderful to go this time because the temperature was so perfect. Last time I remember it was just so hot and my appetite like suffered because of how hot it was. This time it did not suffer. I utilized it to its full extent that I could. But anyway, it was fantastic. So if you ever go to an Epcot festival, these are free. Highly recommend grabbing your passport. This is going to give you all the information on the different food booths, what is offered, and different things to look, see, and do with the festival. Now, the festival does not cost anything extra outside of your general admission into the park. So it's a wonderful reason to get a little bit more bang for your Epcot ticket buck, I guess you could say. The second recommendation I can make is to pick up one of these puppies. This is a gift card on a little bracelet. These are so handy when you're getting food. You load them up at one of the kiosks that you can get it at, and all of the cast members have to do is just scan this little thing right here. It's empty, don't worry. I used it all. You can load it up with almost any amount you want. So if you're on a budget and say, okay, we're going to allot this amount for our food fund, um, no worries. And you can keep track of it. Every time you get a receipt, when you buy something, it'll show you how much you have left on your gift card. And I heard from a lot of the cast members um, that would scan these. They were super excited to have the gift card instead of cash or a card. It's just so much easier. It's just they just scan it and you're good to go. Makes it easy for you, easy for them, and again, it's no added cost other than what you're putting on the card. So it's a wonderful resource. You wear it on your wrist all day, and you just show it, and you're off to the races. I love getting these. I've gotten them for the food and wine festivals in the past. I actually collect them. I think they're fun. I have a Disney Christmas tree that I put up, and I actually hang these on there because it reminds me of my Disney trips. Anyway, so let's get into the food. The first thing that we ate, and I say we, as my husband and I were on the trip, and actually our little one came with us this time. That was different. Um, Fun, but different. Um, so I say we, but I mean my husband and I. We were the ones eating all of this delicious food. Um, Little one not interested yet at this point. The first thing that we ate was from the Citrus Blossom. It was orange sesame tempura shrimp with orange chili sauce. Now, the Citrus Blossom booth is actually in a building. There's lots of tables and chairs. It's a great place to and it's actually kind of dark in there in a way. And it was kind of nice to regroup in the middle of the day and just kind of like rest. So we actually ended up going back into this building, into the Odyssey Pavilion. And this was really good. It was a great start to the festival. We watch a couple of other YouTubers that pretty much only put out Disney videos. So we knew what was coming ahead of time. We weren't like super surprised by anything. We were prepared. And some of these YouTubers had mentioned that they weren't a huge fan of this. We loved it. The tempura was actually a thick batter on that shrimp, very crispy. And we actually got there right when they opened. So it was very fresh. I don't know if maybe those other people did not get a fresh batch. Can't speak to that. I know we got a super fresh batch. The tempura was super crispy. It was nice and thick, and that orange chili sauce was a wonderful compliment. It was slightly sweet and a little spicy, but not too bad. Um, Fantastic offering. It was a great start. Um, the second booth we went to was, and I'm going to butcher a lot of this. A lot of this is, so if you're not familiar with Epcot, there's multiple countries represented there, and oftentimes some things are in a language I am not familiar with, so I apologize if I butcher something. I'm not a native speaker. So the next booth we went to was in the Mexico Pavilion, and it was Jardín de Fiestas. We got the tamale de rojas, poblano peppers, corn, and cheese in masa, topped with poblano cream sauce, crema mexicana, pickled carrots, and onions with chives. This was so good. It was easily one of my best of the fest items. The tamale was cooked perfectly. It was wonderfully flavored. The pickled vegetables on top really gave it a wonderful like brightness to the dish, and the crema on there in the poblano cream sauce were wonderful on there. It was absolutely wonderful. If I had more room in my stomach at the end of the day, I probably would have gotten a second one. It was excellent. Highly, highly recommend if you're a fan of Mexican food or tamales in general. I can't say enough good things about it. It was very, very good. Our next item came from the Germany Pavilion, and the booth name is Baun, Baunmarkt. Anyway, this was toasted pretzel bread topped with Black Forest ham and melted cheese. It's everything you would think it is. The pretzel bread was wonderfully soft. It, one of the things that you kind of get concerned about with a festival when they're mass producing a bunch of stuff is Sometimes things dry out, sometimes things harden. That was not the case here. It was delicious, and the ham was the perfect amount of salt. I want to say the cheese was like a Swiss cheese. It was very, very good. Highly recommend. We liked that one a lot. Moving over to the Japan pavilion, we went to the Hanami booth, and I finally got to try something that has been on a bucket list item of mine um, for many years, and it is frushi. It is a fan favorite, and I've known about this for probably like 10 years now, um, and I've finally tried it. This is strawberry, pineapple, and lychee wrapped in coconut rice and pink soy wrap, served with whipped cream, raspberry sauce, and toasted coconut. So it is um, like a dessert sushi, but it's lightly sweet, and it was kind of everything I had hoped it was. It is very lightly sweet. If you're not a super sweets person, this is a wonderful dessert option for you. It's just fresh fruit, slightly sweetened rice. The soy wrap, I have to admit, I'm not too bad about textures. I was not a fan of the soy wrap texture, um, but there was no flavor to it whatsoever. So and then, of course, it had whipped cream and the raspberry sauce with the toasted coconut on top. It was wonderful. I'm so glad I finally got to try it. I can see why people love it. It is fun. I imagine kiddos love it. Um, so, yes. The next booth we went to is La Isla Fresca. This is the coconut tres leches vanilla cake soaked with oat, almond, and coconut milks, topped with toasted coconut. This was actually a plant-based option. It was a fully plant-based option. They do have some of those throughout the booths there, and this was one of them. And I love a good tres leches. This was very different than what I had had previously. The tres leches I had had was very berry soaked, like soggy almost. It was good. Not this one. This one was it was very moist. Very chewy, almost like a muffin, like a chewy muffin. It was very good, I have to say. Like, and there was nothing about it that made me feel like it was less than a regular, not plant-based tres leches. I thought it was very good. The tres leches I've had previously have been much more liquidy, I guess. And I don't know if that's right or not. Maybe it's not. Um, So yeah, it wasn't bad. It was a lot. It was about this big, which doesn't sound like much. Um, but after about, 3/4 of it, I was like, I'm good. And that was something my husband didn't have a huge interest in. He's not a coconut fan. So that was all me. And I did not finish it. it. It was very good, but it was filling and I had other stuff to eat. So moving on, we ended up going to Northern Bloom, which was in the Canada area. This was 2 seared scallops with French green beans, marble potatoes, and bacon vinaigrette. This was very good. Fortunately, my husband does like scallops. He's not huge on them, but he likes them. He's starting to get warmed up to them, and he really liked these. The bacon vinaigrette, I don't. I feel like vinaigrette would be a misnomer only because it was more like a chutney. Like it was like chunks of bacon, and it tasted like it was mixed with a stone ground type mustard. So you had that like mustardy taste. It was not. It was delicious. I have to say, especially with the potatoes, which were cooked perfectly. and the green beans. The green beans were a little crunchy. I don't know if that was how they were meant to be, um, or whatnot, but that bacon vinaigrette chutney, whatever you want to call it, was fantastic with all of that. So very good. Um, then we went over to the Swirled Showcase booth. This was liquid nitro honey mascarpone cheesecake with fresh honey, granulated honey, and honey mead blueberry compote. Now, this is like a mascarpone cheesecake that they kind of dipped in, I'm assuming, liquid nitrogen, and then they smash it with a hammer. They really did. Um, I watched her do it, and then they drizzle all this honey on it. And the cheesecake was very good. It dipping it in that liquid nitrogen gave it almost like an ice cream. Well, it was like kind of frozen, and but the center was still kind of gooey. It was very good. The honey was a bit much, in my opinion, because you've already got this really sweet mascarpone cheesecake, and then you're adding like more sugar on it. I did not finish it, but it was very, very good. I do recommend it. Um, Moving on, we went to the Florida Fresh booth. This is the grilled warm water lobster tail with key lime butter, as well as the cucumber watermelon slushy. The lobster tail, which I love lobster, um, so it was done really well, and it was grilled. They have when they say something is grilled, they have a grill out in the open, and you can watch them cook it. So for a festival offering to offer a grilled lobster tail, it was fantastic. You could taste the char on the lobster tail, and that wonderful key lime butter really, really made it so good. It was tangy and savory. It was wonderful. The cucumber watermelon slushy was delicious. It was almost, to me, it was almost like a lemonade base. I was kind of hoping for something a little more refreshing with the cucumber and the watermelon. Um, but it was more of a lemonade base, so it had a tartness about it that I wasn't expecting. It was still good. They did have an alcoholic version. I did not get that one. I wanted something refreshing, and it was very good, I have to say. So we also stopped by the Epcot Farmers Market. This is grilled street corn on the cob with savory garlic spread and plant based cheese. This was easily one of the best of the fest items for me. In my opinion, go go to the get one of these grilled street corn on the cob and go to the Mexico Pavilion and get that tamale, and you are set. It is so good, and I could not tell that it was a plant based offering, this grilled street corn. The garlic spread was like garlicky, buttery, and the cheese on top, though plant based, tasted just like Parmesan. It was so good, so savory, a little salty, and so good. The corn was cooked perfectly. Highly, highly recommend this and the tamale. Two best things I ate at the festival, hands down. Um, to round out our day, I stopped at Fleur de Lis in France. This is the croissant au fromage filled with goat cheese with herbs and roasted garlic. Now, I don't love goat cheese. In fact, I don't like goat cheese. I wish I did. I so wish I did. Why did I get this? Because I wanted to love it. And it was good. It's on me, not on them. It was cooked amazing. Like the best croissant you could ask for. It was flaky, it was buttery. I honestly really just wanted the croissant because if you saw my last video for the Epcot festival that we went to, the Food and Wine Festival, I got the croissant with the escargot in it. Same croissant. And I love that croissant. I just don't like goat cheese. But putting that aside, it was incredible. I just don't like goat cheese. So if goat cheese is your thing, you'd probably love it, especially if you're into croissants, because this croissant is everything it should be. Absolutely wonderful. I just wish there was some other cheese, I guess. I don't know. That, like I said, that's my problem, not theirs. Um, but that's pretty much everything we ate at the Flower and Garden Festival this year in 2024. It was wonderful. Highly recommend it. If you are thinking about going to an Epcot festival, I highly recommend either the Food and Wine Festival in the fall or the Flower and Garden Festival here in the spring. I can definitely recommend those two festivals to you. Um, I think they're wonderful. And to be honest, I feel like visiting Epcot when there is not a festival going on is doing a major disservice to you, to Epcot, um, just because there's so many added benefits that you can get for the same price of the ticket. But I could go, I could wax poetic about that, but I won't. So anyway, let me know in the comments below what you think. What is the best looking thing that we had? I will say we did actually stop into a sit down restaurant, and I got no photos, no video, nothing. My husband wanted to surprise me. There is a sit down restaurant that is fairly new that I wanted to try. Um, Shiki Sai in the Japan Pavilion, and I stopped in there and I got just one roll of sushi. I got the Philadelphia roll, and it was very good. Probably one of the best sushi rolls I think I've ever had. I would love to go there sometime and eat lots more because I love sushi and I love a lot of Japanese cuisine. And I would love to go crazy in there. It was absolutely beautiful, by the way, fantastic views. Um, but I didn't take any. I think my husband took a few photos. I didn't do any photos or video. It was getting towards the end of the day. I was getting tired. But either way, that was very good. That was essentially our whole day in Epcot, and it was fantastic. I think I'm going to do one more video on our trip and just kind of lump together all of the other things that we ate on the trip. Um, that way, I'm not continually doing like vacation videos when there are new snacks coming out, you guys. New Mountain Dew. I picked up 2 of them yesterday. Look forward to that. Anyway, I'll stop blathering on now. You guys let me know what you think in the comments below. I will see you guys at the next snack time.